Good morning, everyone. Today is October the 3rd, 2021, and it's another Sunday morning episode of the Church of Liberty. This morning I want to start off with a hymn out of the book of Job. It's called A Hymn to God's Wisdom. We're going to start right here, and it starts out with people know where to mine silver and how to refine gold. They know where to dig iron from the earth and how to smelt copper from rock. They know how to shine light in the darkness and explore the furthest regions of the earth as they search in the dark for ore. They sink a mine shaft into the earth far from where everyone lives. They descend on ropes swinging back and forth. Food is grown on the earth above, but down below the earth is melted as by fire. Here the rocks contain precious lapis lazuli, and the dust contains gold. These are treasures no bird of prey can see, no falcon's eye observe. No wild animal has walked upon these treasures, no lion has ever set his paw there. People know how to tear apart flinty rocks and overturn the roots of mountains. They cut tunnels into the rocks and uncover precious stones. They dam up the trickling streams and bring to light the hidden treasures. But do people know where to find wisdom? Where can they find understanding? No one knows where to find it, for it is not found among the living. It is not here, says the ocean, nor is it here, says the sea. It cannot be bought with gold, it cannot be purchased with silver. It's worth more than all gold of Ophir, greater than precious onyx or lapis lazuli. Wisdom is more valuable than gold and crystal. It cannot be purchased with jewels mounted in fine gold. Coral and jasper are worthless in trying to get it. The price of wisdom is far above rubies. Precious peridot from Ethiopia cannot be exchanged for it. It's worth more than the purest gold. But do people know where to find wisdom? Where can they find understanding? It is hidden from the eyes of all humanity. Even the sharp-eyed birds in the sky cannot discover it. Destruction and death say, we've heard only rumors of where wisdom can be found. God only understands the way to wisdom. He knows where it can be found, for he looks throughout the whole earth and sees everything under the heavens. He decided how hard the wind should blow and how much rain should fall. He made the laws for the rain and laid out a path for the lightning. Then he saw wisdom and evaluated it. He set it in place and examined it thoroughly. And this is what he says to all humanity. The fear of the Lord is true wisdom. To forsake evil is real understanding. Once again, this morning when I woke up to try to figure out what I wanted to talk about this morning, I did my usual thing where I pray for myself and my family, for the world. Some people call it meditating, but I spend time with myself and I reflect on my inner thoughts, and I ask for guidance and what I need to talk about. And as we always do on this Church of Liberty, is we talk about we are nature, and that for so long we've been led astray from what truly is right and wrong, and what we should be focusing on, in my opinion, in our lives, what we should give our life force away for, rather than ponder it away on foolish things that us humans seem to find valuable. Standing out from the crowd, being the guy that everyone here on earth looks up to or is praised by, being the popular person, or having all the newest brand new gadgets and gizmos. Like I say, all that's fine and dandy. We all want nice things and want to be comfortable in life. But as the hymn goes, it says, do we know how to find true wisdom? We know how to do all these crazy things. We created science all those years ago to prove to one another, or to come to some sort of common consensus on all these big ticket issues that we have out there. But and we still haven't figured all that out. Science is an ever evolving process, but when we started figuring out what science was about, and using it as a process to educate ourselves, educate the masses, because for so long, reading and writing was held to the wealthy, the noble, the rich people, the to-dos, the ones that were blessed by the Lord somehow, even though it could never be proven. It was just something that they come up with, and a self-instated authority. And even back, whenever we talk about the Romans, it was going on then. It's always been something that humanity's had to fight with one another about, is control. But a lot of that comes back to the simple thing of we fill our lives with so much, we long for what someone else has, or we long for tomorrow and what we might be able to buy or accomplish tomorrow. And we got to have this thing, and we got to get this done by this date, when in all reality we're just supposed to be a part of this great creation. We're all connected through science. We're starting to prove that whether you want to believe it or not, we are all made up of similar things. Me and the chickens out here, we have a lot of the same common DNA way back in the sequence. I'm not saying we are the same as chickens. We're put together a little different, and I'm definitely not saying that there's not something up above with some kind of guiding principle that's leading us in the way, because I am a believer that there is a creator, and that this may look like it's just evolved, and through trial and error, through stress factors throughout the world, we've evolved to become what we are. But that's something science can't prove. We can't prove when that happened, when we separated and become the species that we are, the only species that we know of that has the capability to look at the past, present, and future situation of ourselves, and determine our course and evaluate what we need to do in order to achieve the things that we want in life. And that's super important, because if we start focusing on the things that we all have in common, all those big issues that politicians and whatnot, they'll throw out there, they have their speeches to get people fired up about climate change and whatnot, but nothing ever is really done about it. How about, instead of you waste your dang time standing up there lying to the people about what you're not gonna do, how about let's see a video of you out helping plant some trees? How about we see some of that money actually going into these small community projects that help the community support themselves, and then you have thousands of those small communities that are basically supporting themselves, but collectively they support each other, and then virtually all around the world we support one another. I think we've truly reached that moment that sometimes in church you were told about the story of Babel, and how we weren't supposed to all be united for some reason, because we're not supposed to build that tower to the heavens, because we're not supposed to know those things. When in reality, if you think about some of the things we talk about here, and how obviously man has twisted the true meaning behind so much of the word in these great scriptures and stories, but why would Why would we not want to all unite? If we're all created from the same dust and we all shall return to the dust, and if his temple should be a temple for all nations, all people, why would they want you to be separated? Why would they want you to hate each other or to think that somebody on the other side of the world, just because their culture is different, and yes, they may do things that we don't agree with, but we got to automatically hate them and go to war with them? Well, we're not in the 19th century anymore. We're in the 21st century, and we had these devices. Even in those harsh countries, we're starting to be able to have actual context from the people on the ground there rather than be told what the situation's like there. And that's life changing. We've never had the ability for regular people to reach out to one another wherever we are in the world and see what the situation is there, to see what we truly need to be focusing on. And by design, I think that we have been kept for all these hundreds and thousands of years. We've been kept separated for a reason, because a very small percentage of people benefit from that. And it can be a conspiracy theory, but some people may say that the Bible's a conspiracy theory altogether. Some people don't believe in that, and that's okay. That's what we founded this country in America on, those principles that freedom is freedom for everyone, not for one particular race, not for one particular class of people. No, that's for everyone to be able to pursue. And right now we don't have that in the world, not just in America, in the world in general. If you look at what's going on in Australia and some of these other countries that are still just like New Zealand, they're just, smiting that hand down on the people. And us in the free world, if we were really, all these big gung-ho patriots and whatnot wanting to stop tyranny, that's what we fought the Germans for. That's what we fought the Viet Cong for. That's why we had to stop all these evil people in the Middle East, is because it's tyranny. They're treating people wrongly over there. Well, the government's locking people in their houses and not letting them go out and live freely amongst one another because of some man-made virus that was created by labs that were probably funded from the United States of America. So why aren't we helping those people in Australia and New Zealand? Why aren't we standing up over here and saying, no, y'all can't do that? I know that y'all are supposed to be a free country, but that's not right. We got to stand up for what's right for everyone, not just because you agree with it at the time. Sometimes what's right will make you feel very uncomfortable. I've experienced this a lot for myself, and sometimes you gotta swallow your pride and say, this is not the way that I view things, but maybe your view is twisted at the moment. Maybe you'll come around and see a better way if you're allowed to experience a better life, but it's still okay for you to be that way, because that's just who you are. And we're not expected to always be the same person. We have the ability to grow, to change our ways, and evil is evil. We have to always turn away from evil. But if someone was brought up in an evil environment and they know no different but from evil, yes, they have that light inside of them just like we do. But there has to be somebody reach out to them and say, there is a better way. You can come with us and you can see the way that we do our life, and maybe you'll want to join us. That's how we change it. You don't go in and try to control somebody else's situation. You show them how to do the right thing. You show them how to be the good person. And like I always say, if you follow the golden rule, a lot of our problems go away very quick. Don't hurt people, don't take their stuff. If you work, it will lead you to down a path of taking care of yourself, being responsible, and then it'll amaze you how fast things will start going in your direction once you realize that all of your actions have an effect, whether you want to see it or not. There's You don't get something for nothing. We don't shut the world down for 18, some places are still shut down like 20 something, 24 months later almost now. We're approaching a 2-year mark with the COVID, however people say it nowadays. We're approaching that 2-year mark, and there's still places shut down in the world. We have to get past that. We have to start seeing one another as brethren and sisters. We can't continue to deny the fact that we have the ability to unite as one people and to shut down the tyranny for the first time ever. We have the tools to do it, and we can do it peacefully. I'm gonna read a little bit more for you today. It'll be kind of short and sweet, but just something else I happened upon this morning when I was studying. So we're in the book of Mark, chapter 10, and we're talking about Jesus teaching others to serve others rather than to be worried about yourself all the time. Well, I just said, that's what you need to focus on, is don't hurt people, don't take their things, and that'll lead you to taking care of yourself. But also, when you start not hurting people and not taking their things, it makes you a better person. And if we want to be like Jesus, we want to, as Christians, that's our ultimate goal, is to be more like Jesus and to follow his teachings. So ultimately, you have to swallow your pride a lot especially during modernity, during these modern times where there's so much stuff flying around. You have to really be conscious about your decisions and whether you're doing the right or the wrong thing. But you can't get hung up on decisions that you've made in the past, if that makes any sense. But anyways, we'll read a little bit here, and it says, "But Jesus said to them, 'You do not know what you are asking. Are you able to drink from the bitter cup of suffering I am about to drink? Are you able to be baptized with the baptism of suffering I am about to be baptized with?' 'Oh, yes,' they replied, 'we are able.' Then Jesus told them, 'You will indeed drink from my bitter cup and be baptized with my baptism of suffering. But I have no right to say who will sit on my right or my left. God has prepared those places for the ones he has chosen.' When the 10 other disciples heard what James and John had asked, they were indignant. So Jesus called them together and said, 'You know that the rulers in this world lord it over their people, and officials flaunt their authority over those under them. But among you it will be different. Whoever wants to be a leader among you must be your servant, and whoever wants to be first among you must be the slave of everyone else. For even the Son of Man came not to be served, but to serve others and to give his life as a ransom for many." We know the story about Jesus dying on the cross and why he died for us. He died for our sins. But he was being a teacher. He was being a leader, and as a leader, we have politicians now that are supposed to be leaders, supposed to be representatives of our community. We're supposed to have a president who's supposed to be a leader, a representative of what America's values are. I don't think we have that. Whether you agree, whether you're Democrat, Republican, I'm not any of that. But even as, like, on a local level, the leaders are supposed to be the ones right now in times of question, times of change, because times are changing, they're always changing, but right now we're in a very great period of change. Your leaders are supposed to be stepping up and not asking for anything, but just showing you the way, showing you what they feel is right. Whether it's right or wrong, they're supposed to be showing you a direction to travel in, not just sitting back waiting on some authority figure to give them the next set of rules to follow. We gotta get away from all that. That system has led us astray for so many years, and we have the ability as a collective people to end that for the first time. And I don't expect it to happen in my lifetime. Maybe my grandchildren will get to experience, but I dang sure am going to be one of the ones to stand up and start speaking my mind about the things that we can do differently. Anyways, I know it's kind of intense. I may have bounced around from thing to thing, but I love y'all, and the ultimate message is love. We have to start standing up for what we believe is right and wrong, guys. Y'all have a great rest of your day.